Yeah. All right, so the one-on-one we were assigned is somebody dealing with mental health challenges.
Mental health challenges?
Mental health challenges. And so I kind of want to, because we're in such a small group, I don't think it's necessary to split off into other groups, but I would like to have kind of a discussion on what to do, because this is something I have not had too much experience with. Talking with people, I can't even think of like family members that admit to mental health problems. I mean, they could have them, but they're just not admitting to it. So I guess the first question is, well, there's a whole realm of them as well. So let's just start with like depression. What would we do if we encounter a student that is dealing with depression?
How do we know they're dealing with depression? Like,
Well,
I'm just thinking back to the very beginning. Like what are the signs? Because in order to solve the problem, we have to know the problem exists.
For right now, let's assume that they actually come up to you and say, "I'm having a hard time because of this."
Okay. What I do is I try and treat them like a normal person. There's this whole stigma, stereotype with mental disabilities and disorders that because we can't physically see the ailment, we're more weary. And like sometimes I think we're afraid that we'll catch it. Like if we're hanging out with people with depression, we'll catch depression. If we're hanging out with people with schizophrenia, like we'll catch it.
It's contagious.
Yeah, and like I've been around a lot of people with different disabilities, mental disabilities, and I think the best thing is just to treat them like a person, and not like their disease. And that sounds simple, but sometimes you'll catch yourself treating yourself differently around that other person, which is necessary. Sometimes you have to adapt to situations, but if you're still giving them the whole like measure of your heart, I think that's what's most important. And then from that, you can. I'd ask them straight up. Have you seen a therapist? Have you seen a counselor? And if they say no, then ask them why not. Because they're professionally licensed and trained. I'm not. And if we're really looking out for them, we're going to get to the best help that they have.
I like that approach. An alternative question you might want to ask is, tell me who is in your support network. Because of the negative association related to mental health challenges, coming out and asking someone, they may be a little bit in self-denial, and they may not have a high regard for mental health counseling. And so to be able to say, who's in your support network? And then they may say, well, I'm seeing a counselor, I'm seeing a therapist, I've got, and then if they don't say, well, what do you mean, or I'm not sure, well, talk to me about your relationship with your parents. Talk to me about your relationship with your siblings. Who do you have that's there to support you? And that will be, I think, eye-opening as well, because you might find that they're just alone.
Sorry, with this, is it wise to get ourselves in their support network? I mean, maybe yes to an extent, but we don't want to commit ourselves to them. And that sounds mean. What I'm trying to say is like there needs to be a certain boundary that goes back to the whole professionalism of it all. Like, what would you suggest on that?
Well, look at our 5 roles up there, and think of the image. Almost, I'm just kind of going from the hip with this metaphor, but think of a wheel with spokes. We don't represent all of the spokes, but we can represent 1 or 2 of them. We're not trained therapists, and we don't have to pretend to be. But the fact that they know that they have someone in their corner who's an advocate for them, who loves them, that may be all that they need from us, or all that we can provide. there are a lot of people in the world who can provide money for people. I can't provide extra money to help people out, but I can provide other things.
Parker?
So these comments are good, and I like the approach, kind of where Bryce was going, asking him questions, and then Darren had mentioned that. If I were in that situation, I would also ask them, I would sit them down, if they told me, just to show them that I'm interested, and that I want to listen to them. And I would start to ask them, okay, so what are you doing now? Like, how do you handle depression? I would ask a question and listen, and try and base each question I ask next off of how they're answering. And I would let them know my abilities and my inabilities as their friend and as their mentor. Okay, well, let's do this. Let's make a plan. I can help you with this. And then let them know I can't do this for you. You need, maybe you should consider going to see a therapist if they're not. Maybe you should consider, are you on medication? Maybe you should consider going on the medication. Here's where I can help you. Here are my abilities to enable you. And then here's what I can't do for you. And I think making that clear, setting the expectation, but overall making sure that they can sense that you're listening to them and that you care and you're interested in that you will do everything you can to help them and to facilitate their ability to help themselves.
Oh, that's a good way to clearly make sure that, or communicate what that line is, where that boundary lies between you being their mentor for the class and them needing, professional help to listen to them. So what if they're showing signs of depression, but they haven't told you straight up? How do you approach them? Do you approach them?
I would say so. And I was actually thinking about this. This was my aha moment. It was completely random on, I think it was like the last reflection, is we do they did it in mine. I don't know if they do them at all. I would imagine they would not do them at all, but like, they go around the room and like tell people of like your favorite color or your favorite superstar and stuff like that. I think that's a beautiful way of subtly profiling people, making sure they're mentally kind of all there. Just talking with them, looking for the signs that kind of lead you to, oh, I think they might need some help. So I'm going to do this. And I guess the second half of the question is, I think you can just go up to them, can you not? Just say, hey, how are things going? Yeah. Is everything going okay? How's life? Tell me. Walk down the halls with them, let them kind of spill their beans and be like, okay, this is what's going on. Because the more you talk to them, the more you talk to anybody, the more their kind of troubles seem to kind of surface and bubble up. So you just need to take time to kind of walk down the hall, chat with them. They're going somewhere, but they kind of bring it up in that way. Just show them your friends, and those little things, even just some signs of them, will come to the surface. You're like, hey, let me help you in any way I can. I'm here for you.
So basically taking a genuine interest in other aspects of their lives.
And I totally agree with that. And I also believe at the same time, we need to be aware of what we're asking. Obviously, we'll be to the point where we're sensing the relationship. Where are we with them? Are we, have we interacted with them a lot? Or where's our trust level? Does he trust me as his mentor? But being aware of the questions that you are asking, don't be too intrusive. Be aware of the level that you're at and ask questions on that level. I know that sometimes when you're asked something by someone or something is said to you, and it could push you away or it could make you feel weird. And I'll share an example. And I trust you guys, and this is kind of a personal thing. It did make a big deal. It doesn't make a big deal, but I was babysitting my sister's baby girl yesterday. Cutest niece in the world, sorry guys.
You're entitled.
And I had gotten to the house, and she was talking about this news article that she had read on KSL about this man who was charged for molesting people, and molesting children. And she was on this rant, and I was just like, man, that's awful, that's awful. And she looked at me, just out of joke, she was like, if you ever molest Brinley, I'll take you down, I'll charge you for everything you've got, I'll ruin your life. And I just sat there like, oh my gosh. And I know that it was a joke, and I know that she trusts me, and I would never do that, but just the fact that she said that to me, it made me feel weird. And it made me feel like, man, do you consider that I would do that? Like, I know that maybe that was just a joke, but the fact that you even said that made me feel kind of gross about myself, and made me feel a little bit bad. And it kind of pushed me away for a while, and I sat there all day thinking about that, like, my gosh, I can't believe she said that to me. And she meant nothing by it, And so it's important to take care of what we say to people, because it can rub them the wrong way.
Even in jokes, like.
Even in jokes, because that was
That's
just
a
a
big one,
joke.
yeah, it was just a joke, but like, and they say there's truth in every joke, so you have to be careful on the joke, because people can take it that way. It's a very serious
I have
thing.
another example of that. It was when I was working at Subway. It was before I went to South Korea, and we were all working. It was a busy day, and this lady started, and I was finishing her sandwich, and I was putting veggies on it, and we were talking, we were joking, she was laughing, I was laughing. She got to the register, and she's like, I want to speak to the manager in charge. The guy at the register, he's kind of like more of a dark, sinister kind of person. He's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? Like, he's literally that